Hey guys, if you're asking how can I get started in real estate, you're in the right place. I'm going to share some of the cheat codes I used to go from no real estate experience in July 2015 to buying our first property in December 2015, and now we have a house flipping business that buys and sells 100 plus houses a year, and we have ownership in over 1,000 rental units that gives us passive income each and every month. In this video, we're going to cover the different ways to make money in real estate, both actively and passively, and I'll share the best 3 tips to get started. That's going to work in any one of those different areas of real estate, even if you don't have any experience in that method or real estate in general. Hey, I'm Ariane at Ask Ariane, where we talk about money tips, investing, and real estate to help more people achieve financial freedom, retire early, and do what they really want to in life. If you're interested in any of those topics, please click the subscribe button and hit that bell so you can see my weekly videos. Alright, before we talk about how to get started in real estate, it's really important for you to know all the different types of income you can get in real estate. We're going to separate them into active income and passive income. Active income is money you get when you trade your time for money. You essentially have a job or a self-employed business in the real estate space. Some examples of this are being a real estate agent, flipping houses, fixing up houses, wholesaling. And wholesaling, this is when you sign a contract to buy real estate, and instead of closing on it yourself, you assign the right to buy that property to someone else for a fee. You can also be a property manager and manage long-term rentals for others, or you can be a vacation rental manager and manage vacation rentals for others. Now, the next type of income is passive income. Passive income in real estate is money you get without you having to trade time for money. In real estate, that usually is in the form of rental income. Rental income can be from short-term rentals, so you can rent out a room or the entire house short-term, or it can be from long-term rentals, and that's what we're usually used to. These can be renting out houses, apartments, mobile homes, mobile home parks, self-storage facilities, or office space and other commercial facilities. Okay, now that we've talked about all the different ways to get involved and make money in real estate, active and passive, I'm going to share the top 3 tips I think anyone who is new to this space should use. And the good thing is, you can apply this to any of the active or passive income models. But my examples are going to be more geared toward passive income real estate investing, so just keep that in mind. Alright, so these ways are designed to help you conquer that fear of the unknown when it comes to something new. Tip number 1, house hacking. So what's house hacking, you might ask? It's a fun way to say that you can make money by owning your own house. So I personally think it's a great way to learn the ins and outs of real estate without all the risk. Also, you can buy with as low as 0 to 3.5% down payment, which allows most people to get over the large barrier to entry in buying rental properties, when you typically need 15 to 25% of a down payment. If you don't own a house yet, you'll learn about how to find, finance, and close on a house, and all the things to required to maintain a house, like paying for insurance, taxes, saving for a roof or an AC repair. So you're going to learn all that when you house hack. And the important thing to remember when you're going to house hack is to buy a house that would make a good rental. And the cool thing is, you are going to be one of your tenants. So a good rule of thumb to use to see if you're buying at a price where it would make a good rental is the 1% rule. you want the monthly rent to be 1% or more of the total purchase price of the house. For example, if rent for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in the neighborhood is $2,000, then buying it at $200,000 or less will mean that when you decide to move out and rent it out to a tenant, you will cash flow well. In fact, you'll cash flow extremely well because you have such a low amount of cash invested in the property since you were super smart and used your 0 to 3.5% down owner-occupied loan. Now, you can keep buying houses with owner-occupied loans every 12 months if you want to. So you can actually buy 10 rental properties in 10 years for as low as a 0 to 3.5% down payment if you do it year after year. So that's an incredibly easy way to invest. It allows you to invest with such a low barrier to entry, and it's exactly how I got started. My husband and I bought a little townhouse, and we were our first tenants. Now, you might be thinking, well, I already own my own house. So if you own your own house, you can still house hack. And the way you can house hack is by learning how to make money on the house you do own or any future houses you buy with an owner-occupied loan. You can learn all the ins and outs while having the safety of that low down payment and having yourself as one of the tenants. Because you know that you're going to pay yourself, right? Okay, so some ideas to make money on a house hack. 1, you can buy a 2 to 4 unit property, a duplex, triplex, or fourplex, and rent out the other units. 2, you could buy a house with a mother-in-law suite or a separate apartment and rent that out. 3, you can rent out the different rooms. So you could buy a 4-bedroom house and then rent out the second, third, and fourth bedrooms if you don't use it. And another thing you can consider is instead of renting it out long term, either the 1 unit to 4 units or the rooms, you can rent them out as Airbnbs or short-term rentals, which could potentially boost your income higher. Other cool ways to house hack this is one we still use now. We rent out our garage to a local business for storage. You can also rent out your parking space. I know one of my friends down in South Florida rents out their parking space. And you can also click that subscribe button for the YouTube algorithm. Just kidding. Okay. So there are so many ways to make extra income on your house. And if you've done one of these house hack ideas or if you have any questions about one, please comment down below. Okay, let's move on to tip number 2. Work for or with a more experienced investor. I think this is such an underrated tip that people don't talk about. It's so useful because by working with someone else, you can leverage the skills you already have. So you're not really starting from scratch. Number 2, it's great because you won't have that fear of the unknown because you know that you have someone who's done this before right beside you. And you get to learn from their experience. You don't have to recreate the wheel. So, this seriously speeds up your growth and learning. And what's great is you don't have to wait in the sidelines with fear. I'm sure you're familiar with a tailwind, right? It's like when you drive behind a large truck and that tailwind from the large truck blows towards the truck, and if you drive right behind it, it allows you to go as fast as the truck without expending the energy or fuel you normally would need to go that fast. This is the same thing that happens when you work with a more experienced investor. You can go just as fast as them, but without expending your effort. It seriously speeds up your progress and helps you learn so much faster. So now that you know why you want to work with an experienced investor, how do you find them, right? So here are some ways you can find more experienced investors. One, you can go to real estate investment clubs. Meetup.com is a good place to find them. Just search real estate investing and you'll see a few on Meetup. Number two place to find them is biggerpockets.com. It's an online forum just for real estate investors. And you can search your city in there and find the local investors and private message them or interact with them in the forums. And a third method is Facebook groups. If you insert your city plus real estate investors, you'll find some Facebook groups and you can connect with other investors there. Okay, so let's say now you've found someone. What do you do so that they do work with you? Okay, first and foremost, you want to identify your own strengths. What are you already good at? There is something that you are good at, right? Maybe it's something about what you currently do at your day job, or maybe it's just a skill that you have. Maybe you're a salesperson and you're good at talking to people. Maybe you're a software developer and you're good at designing and updating websites or running the numbers. Whatever it is, find out what you're already good at and focus on that. That's the value that you can add. Which brings us to number two. Add value to the investor without asking for anything in return. So here's how that might sound. I could approach the investor and say, "Hey, Mr. Investor, I'm a software developer and I'd really like to figure out how I can help you and add value to you and potentially maybe work together. I looked at your website and it looks great, but I have a few ideas on how to make it better." Right? So if you were the investor on the receiving end of that, doesn't that sound great? Doesn't this new person sound awesome? Right? So you're going to want to work with them. And then you might also say, "Oh, and by the way, I just clicked that subscribe button for the YouTube algorithm." Okay. And then number three, once you show them how you could potentially add value, and then you do add value, right? So that example earlier, they do talk, and then the investor says, "Okay, well, I'd love for you to help me with the website," and then you add some things here and there to help them with their website. Then after that is step number three. Ask. Now you ask, right? However it is, whatever it is you want to do with them. You can ask, "Hey, could we partner up on a deal?" Or ask them, "Hey, I'm just starting to get involved in flipping houses, or I'm just starting to buy rentals, and right now I'm stuck with finding the right property, and what I'm doing is I'm talking to agents and wholesalers. What do you think the next step could be for me?" Right? So first add value without asking. After you add value, then you ask. And a lot of times you can be part of a deal and work with them somehow as you learn and you work together. And who knows, this could be start of an ongoing potential partnership. All right, our next tip is tip number 3. Invest passively with a more experienced investor. So just like tip number 2, this allows you to learn from someone's experience, and it drastically increases the speed at which you learn, and it also increases your chance for success. This is the cheat code of how we have ownership in over 1,000 rental units. But instead of tip number 2, where you mostly trade your time for no or a little payment, this way, tip number 3, you can make good money and also learn from an experienced investor. So, for example, the investor could be flipping houses and you can ask, "Hey, I have some money to invest. Is there a way where I can invest in one of your flips and also learn about the deal and how it's run?" Or, here's another way to ask. "Hey, Mr. Investor, I have some money to invest. Is there a way where I can invest in one of your apartment deals and get passive income and also learn about that deal and how it's run?" So, see how that sounded? Most of the time, investors will entertain this. Now, you still have to be a person they know, like, and trust, but when you open it up that way, it allows for a very good transition into you investing with them and learning about how to do whatever it is they're doing. Okay, so there we go. Those are the top 3 tips to get started in real estate. Which one is your favorite tip and which one are you going to implement next? Please comment down below. And if you want to see more videos on money tips, investing, and real estate, I would absolutely love it if you click the subscribe button and hit that notification bell. I post new videos weekly. Alright, thank you so much for listening. You have a great day, and I will see you next time.